What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal podcast from two dudes who are really there. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM. Tim, how's it going?
Right. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
You're feeling
I'm,
good. All
I'm
right,
feeling
all right.
good.
We're
These
two
these
episodes in.
vodkas are doing good right now.
Dude, I'm scared to start drinking after what I did to myself last time. That time I was in that night and I was in AC. I still haven't even told you that story, but I was hungover for like 5 days. It was not good. All
Yeah, you
right,
told me.
so Tim, what are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about I don't know if people listening are probably young, but in the 90s, maybe even 80s, was it like
The
early
80s.
80s?
It was in the 80s. Well, they apparently the Columbia House, the company had been around since the 50s. But what we
56,
know was
yeah.
the 80s and
Yes.
90s.
So for the youngins listening, in the 90s, we'll just go 90s because when I was young enough to remember this, Columbia House and BMG started this thing where you would get something in the mail or it would be on TV or magazines, blah, blah, blah. Get 10, 12 CDs for a penny. And holy shit, did we get some records for a
Mm-hmm.
penny.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say we didn't fucking pay for most of them. And collections was up your ass. And yeah. And then we would just make a fake name and get more fucking
I
CDs.
I lived in a frat house in the late 90s from 97 to 90. Well, actually, the year after I graduated, so 2000. And that was the constant of we would get the mailers to some guy who didn't even live in the house anymore, and you would sign up and you would send the thing, and we would get and but at this point it was DVDs, so there was the Columbia House DVD mailer.
Yes.
So to give people a little bit more context, the way it works is you'd sign up for a membership. You'd get like 10 CDs for a penny, 10 cassettes. I did cassettes. I remember cassettes, 10 cassettes for a penny. With the contract being you needed to buy five more at their retail price. Now where they got you is their retail price was double what you paid in stores.
Absolutely.
So it was like 19.99 for a cassette that would have cost you 8.99 at say The Wall or Sam Goody.
Yep.
But you had to buy five more. And I remember I did sign up. I think it was 10 cassettes for a penny. And funnily enough, I sat down this morning and I really started to think about it. And I think I got all 10 that I remember buying. And because I remember like coming home from vacation and being so excited that the box was there of all these cassettes. And my parents, they let me do it. But yeah, they were always a month behind new releases and everything was 20 bucks. And this was in the 80s. So you can imagine what that equates to now, right? It
Yeah.
was double the cost of a cassette in the 80s.
Yeah, I think if anyone should be in jail for that, it's my dad because he did that shit so many times. I think he had every fucking record they had. He just did
Oh,
every fucking week there'd be a new box. I don't know
well,
how
there
he
was
did it.
to that point, Tim, one of the things we forgot about this club, right? They had what's called negative option billing, where they would send you a mailer that said, unless you respond, you are getting the new Celine Dion. Unless you respond, you are getting the new Shania Twain. Unless you respond, you are getting the new, I don't know, Sade album. And it was never anything good. It was always pop. And you had to respond and tell them you didn't want it. Otherwise, they would send it to you and bill you.
Oh yeah. The crazy thing about it too is like they were pressing the CDs themselves. So you were getting the CDs, it would have the same art, blah blah blah. It would be wrapped, but you were getting a CD that had low quality. I mean, them things were so low quality because they just fucking. I remember reading an article that their pressing plant was like fucking acres, and it was just press all day and night. People were pressing records, so you would think like there's probably like a million copies of like Vitology. You know what I mean? Because
Yep, yep.
everybody was getting Pearl Jam. Because I mean, dude, I have a Pearl Jam record from that built from Columbia House upstairs. I think it's 10. I still have it. My dad gave me all his CDs when he was like, getting out all that shit, and it was
Uh-huh.
all Columbia House BMG stuff, all of it. I mean, remember you get the billing, the biller things, and it would have a penny literally in it.
Yeah, well, it said would stick a penny to the thing. That was part of the marketing junk, right? Because it looked and here was the other thing. This thing used to show up. It looked like junk mail,
Yeah,
and you would tape a penny to it and send it in. Tim, do you remember the stamps?
yeah,
They
yep.
actually, so for those of us, man, we're getting old here. Um, they actually, you would get a tear sheet of stamps, and each stamp was the album cover. So you would have to stick the stamps onto the mailer of what you wanted to buy. And then I remember when I first signed up, that's what I did. You tape the penny, you stick the stamps, you send it in, and that's what they would send you.
Yeah, it was fucking wild, dude.
It's to think this was a profitable business is kind of insane, right? I
There
mean,
was a dude who went to prison because he fucking stole like $464,000 worth of CDs from them.
I tried to get into that article, but it's behind a paywall. But yeah, it's
Oh, New
unbelievable.
York Times.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I tried reading that too. Yeah,
But I
four
mean,
hundred and sixty-four thousand dollars worth of fucking CDs.
dude, we had so many DVDs in the frat house. We had so many DVDs. Every time one a different frat guy. I remember one summer we would just keep a list of, oh, we already signed up with this guy. We already signed up with that guy. We already signed up with that guy. The boxes just kept coming. They
How
just kept
many
coming.
how many people do you think actually got in trouble for doing this?
Probably few to none.
That's what I would think too. Like a few, maybe. Obviously, the dude who got $464,000 worth of shit, but like nobody, like, oh yeah, we're gonna put you in the bill or collections. Nobody paid that shit. No one gave
Uh,
one fuck.
Well, there was an article where even on Wikipedia it talked about there were many underage customers who legally could not be bound into any agreement. Columbia House knew these were unenforceable, but they apparently did not care.
But how
They,
are they making money off of this?
it's got to be like the only metaphor I can give, Tim, in the modern world has got to be like the ads on porn sites. Because you look at those things and you think to yourself, what schmuck clicks these things? But all it takes, and I listen to I'm not a porn aficionado. There was a long podcast series I listened to about the money behind the porn industry. And they talked about how the 10 or 20 people that click on those ads and actually buy something pay for the 20 or 30,000 people that don't do anything with it. So a very small amount of customers converting. And like you said, if it's your own plant, I mean, Tim, but they were buying blank cassettes, blank CDs, like uh, the small amount of people that do pay full price cover the losses for others. But then, I
But
mean, then
how
they
is it
talked about,
legal to for them to press the CDs themselves though?
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, they would there was an article here where I came across where in 2008 they were still selling fraudulent debt claims to a collection agency. And then they talked about how the delinquents were not made known they were aware of the debt. Most had not made the current purchases within 5 years. Victims were not made known of either the debt or the open account with the credit company. Like, and then the people didn't know they had collections until they tried to get a loan, and or their credit report was checked and they realized they had a collection account. Can you imagine going to buy a fucking house, Tim, and they tell you you're declined because you have an open 39.95 collections from Columbia House?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. But I don't remember them asking for a social though.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah, like all I remember is you just sent it in and the fucking things came.
Yep, yep.
How long did it take? Was it like a few weeks?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I just remember it not being very long at all, where um you would send it in and within like a couple weeks you'd get something.
Dude, just what a wild fucking way to try and make money. Like I still to this day just cannot understand how they fucking made money.
There are definitely younger listeners to our show, like the Zoomers, who are going, I don't. What are these guys? We might as well be speaking a foreign language at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
I
I got a thing here. It's on YouTube though. The ugly truth about Columbia House. I wish we could play it, man.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
I'll put it in the chat. But like it's just that you got to think though. You have to think that there was some kind of like fraud going on with the people running this, and they kind of made money off of other people's like what's the word I can say? Stupidity, maybe.
Ignorance. It's got to be they made money off people's ignorance or people's gullibility, right? I
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
that
yeah.
that had to be it, right?
If you have, do you have the wiki pulled up?
Yes, I do.
when exactly did they go out of business for the C's? Was that 2004?
Let's see here. So market decline. They merged with CD Now in 99. Um, and then it was bought by BMG. Uh, by 2001, music clubs accounted for less than 8% of CD sales,
Hmm.
coinciding with the ascent of internet shops, retailers like Amazon and Walmart. Security breach in '01. Everything got consolidated. So Sony and AOL Time Warner sold it in 2002. BMG bought it again in 2505. In 2010, the Canadian branch went into bankruptcy. The
I
Columbia
want
House name is still owned by Sony Music Entertainment and is still under license.
I wonder if there's a warehouse that just has millions of CDs from that era,
Or millions of fucking cassettes.
just like sitting there, and like if it catches on fire, that thing is you're gonna see that from 3 states away.
I
It's
just,
like,
yeah,
oh, there goes the Columbia
there goes
House
the Columbia House thing.
warehouse.
So, Tim, let's talk about I made my list.
Okay,
So I did 10 cassettes for a penny. I'm the as far as I can tell, it was either 1988, it was either 88 or 89 when I did this. So I'm gonna say that I'm 99% sure about more than three-quarters of these. The other couple, I think I'm vaguely remembering that these are the ones I picked.
okay.
Um, so keep in mind this is 88, 89. I have yet to discover Metallica, Slayer, any of that stuff. I've yet to discover anything that's not on MTV because
Okay.
I am 11 years old at this point. What do you think this list is comprised of? 88, 89.
Some really, really corny rock stuff like Van Halen.
Worse. It's all hair metal.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
it's all well, aside from the couple standouts, there's this is late stage hair metal, right? This is the last gasp of hair metal before Nirvana shows up and kills it all.
So we're talking about like Warrant.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right,
So
no,
first,
number 10.
number 10, White Lion with Big Game.
Oh my
Do
God,
you
dude.
remember this album?
Yes.
The big wait a minute, the big single was I was just looking at this the other day. Today I actually spent an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out, you know,
For this
what these
episode.
cassettes were. Oh yeah, for this episode. So this was White Lion's third studio album. Um, the song that I bought it for was Radar Love, which was a cover. It wasn't even an original. It was a cover.
That's fucking
But
hilarious.
I think this video, I think they had a video, was all over the place.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
and Little Fighter was on this album. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so that's number 10. Number 9. You ready?
Yes.
Trickster.
This is
Jersey.
getting
No?
this is getting worse as it goes.
It is going to get worse as it goes. Yes, they are from, I believe they're from New Jersey. Yes, Paramus, New Jersey. You will know the song when you hear it. What was the big single? Give It to Me Good.
Oh, Jesus
Tim, you would
Christ.
know this song. You would know the song if you heard it. Look up the cover. The cover is everything wrong with the 80s hair metal in one fell swoop. Shout out to Paramus, New Jersey. Most miles in the shortest, most malls in the shortest amount of square miles, I think, in the country. Next, Slaughter.
Okay.
Stick It To You.
Okay.
This had the song, the cover was great, by the way. It was this hot chick against a knife throwing board, like roulette wheel thing. Um, Up All Night. It's a good song. I mean, and again, this was young Jay is watching MTV. These are the videos that they're playing. So when given the chance, this is what I bought. I remember their guitarist. Um, was it Tim Kelly? I think they were. He was good. Yeah, they were actually pretty good. Well, the lead singer and the bassist played in the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. All right, next, you ready, Tim? This is a bad one, dude. This is a bad one. I'm gonna give you the album title. You got to tell me the band. You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Blow My Fuse.
Uh,
Come on, come on,
I can't remember.
Hicks.
Hicks.
Hicks. Kix.
Okay. Oh, oh my God, dude. You still have this?
What, these tapes? No, these are long gone. But that song, oh, dude, that song "Blow My Fuse" is great. Don't Close Your Eyes, right? That video was all over MTV. All over MTV.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is kind of bad. Okay, so the next one, okay, the next one isn't terrible. Now I get into a run of, now we're getting into the stuff which is more mainstream. As far as hair metal goes, Poison, Open Up and Say Ah.
Okay.
It's a good album. Uh, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Okay.
Or was Shout at the Devil? No, it wasn't Shout at the Devil. It was the one with Home Sweet Home. What was that?
I don't remember.
What album was that? Come on, there's somebody definitely yelling. They're yelling at their
Jordan Sloan.
Jordan Sloan. It's definitely Theater of Pain. That
Okay.
was it. It was Theater of Pain. With Home Sweet Home, yeah, Smoking in the Boys Room. Then I don't know why. No, that's a blank spot because I didn't know that one. Great White with Twice Shy,
Okay.
because that song, I just remember they're playing in a giant empty warehouse and there's these hot chicks. And again, this is 11-year-old Jay heading into puberty. Yes, I was in. And then later, by the way, did you watch that documentary about that fire?
Which one?
The fire, the Great White, the pyro disaster in Rhode Island where all those people were killed?
No, but I definitely know
Oh, it
about
is.
that.
It's a great documentary, but man, it's fucking heartbreaking. So then this might be, these last two might be the most embarrassing ones I have in this list. Both W's. Care to guess what the first one is? Both
Warrant.
W's and not White Lion. Warrant, yes. Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, dude. That song had like, that album had like four number one singles, I think.
Let's agree to disagree that that shit is trash.
Uh, I'm not saying it's not trash, but I'm saying that album had how many singles? Down Boys, Heaven, A Big Talk. Sometimes She Cries. I don't remember those last two, but dude, this album was a banger. Right? Heaven was all over MTV. Okay, and the last one. This is the most embarrassing one, probably.
Another W?
Another W. I'm going to give you a hint. Ready?
Okay.
Beavis and Butthead.
A winger. Fucking winger, dude. Actually kind of rules. He always
Oh
had the
my
shirt
god.
on, didn't he?
Yeah, it was, what was it? It was the second one. No, it was the self-titled. It was the self-titled with Headed for a Heartbreak and 17. And then the
Wow.
album after this, um, or you know what? I just remembered what the one that I didn't remember was. It's another W band.
Oh, we already said winger. We already
We
said
said Winger, we said Warrant, and we said
uh, give it to me.
Whitesnake.
Oh, White Snake. Okay.
Yep, the self-titled album, 87. Yes,
Jesus
and again,
Christ.
this is Tim. I'm a young kid. My parents put a color TV in our bedroom, and I had MTV.
Did you have a mullet
No,
back then?
no, my mom never let me grow a mullet. So here's another thing. Shout out, rest in peace to my mom. She never let me grow a rat tail, and I was as a kid, I was so fucking mad that she wouldn't let me grow a tail. And now, as a grown ass adult, I thank God that she never let me grow a tail and that there's no pictures of it because, dude, that was the most embarrassing fashion thing ever, ever.
I might have had a tail. I'll have to ask my mom.
God, just nope, nope. Yeah, but is this love? And then here I go again. I mean, really, like Tony Katane rolling around on the roof of fucking on the hood of a Jaguar.
That I'm searching for. Yeah, yeah.
So I should go back and make a playlist of all the. You know what? I'm going to do that on Spotify tomorrow when I have some time. I'm going to make a playlist of all the big songs that came off of these albums. Um,
Jay's
there
BMG.
Jay's
Fucking
Columbia House collection. But then I'm trying to remember what else. I think one of the things that I asked my dad to buy me was Passion and Warfare.
mm,
Do you remember that by
yeah,
Steve Vai?
yeah.
What year was that? 1990. Yep, yep. So I definitely bought
Did
this.
did what's his name sing on that? Devin?
Uh, let's see, who is the
Or is he with Satriani? I can't remember.
he
No, it
was
was
with
Vi.
it was Vi, but it was the next album.
Okay. What was that one called again?
The one after this, the one before it was with Little Green Men. That I remember. Sex and Religion.
There you go.
Yeah, man, what a fucking amazing guitarist. Flexible. That was the first album with Little Green Men where it was amazing. Do you remember, Tim, you want to talk about a YouTube rabbit hole? The first annual MTV Rock and Jock baseball game. Steve Vai played the national anthem.
Mm,
And I am telling you right now, if we put it on right now, I will get chills. It is
Jesus.
amazing to go back and when we're done recording, watch. It's like 3 minutes. It's the full song, but no band, no drums, no vocals, just himself. The rendition he does of a fucking Star Spangled Banner is absolutely amazing. And I remember as a kid sitting there like, you remember because people forget Corn, their 7 string are repainted Steve I Ibanez's.
Yeah.
Like he was the one who sold the 7 string, but he was using it for wankery. They were the ones who decided, hey, let's drop two in the top string and see what happens.
And
But
it
yeah,
worked
so
out well.
Columbia House, man, that was kind of embarrassing that I admitted I bought all those things.
I found a Business Insider
Okay.
article here, and there's some stuff on here. So, like you said before, the way the clubs offered music to consumers was through a catalog roughly every month. Actually, it was a little bit more often, and in some cases, they were shipping 21 different catalogs every month. And for that, every catalog, you would need to send back a postcard within 10 days of your receipt of that catalog, indicating that you didn't want the selection of the month. If you didn't do that in time, or you just forgot, you would be shipped that record, and of course, you would be billed for it. Forget to send the card back, and you'd owe the club about $22 for a CD you may not even want, but you still only paid a few bucks for shipping on 11 other albums. This still doesn't seem sustainable, especially when retail shops were selling CDs for $14 and up. And then there's another thing about licensing. They would license the actual master tapes and the production files for the physical media from the major music companies, and they would be able to manufacture these records at a cost of about $1.50 or so each. In many cases, inferior pressings on vinyl and CD, and you wouldn't get maybe the full lyrics, and you wouldn't get the nice inserts and stuff. And even the little booklets that were included in the CD were not quite as nice as the ones that you would get in
I
the
didn't
store very often.
I didn't know that. I did. I wonder now if I were to go back, if I could find find all those. Holy shit. I
By
never knew that.
pressing by pressing their own albums, the clubs were able to make about $5 to $6 on each unit they actually sold, even accounting for all the free albums they sent out. Okay, so now I'm seeing how they did this. As it turns out, that was plenty of margin to operate these businesses, which together were generating about $1.5 billion of revenue, or about 15% of the U.S. record industry volume at the peak, which was around 1996. So around 96, they were making about $1 billion a year. Jesus Christ, dude.
That is, dude, that is unreal. I actually found an old Columbia House ad on eBay. And the way it worked was you paid, and this is 1988, you paid $1.86 as payment for 12 selections, 12 cassettes plus $1.85 for shipping.
Do you want to put it on the screen?
Yeah. Let me share it. Let me share. Can I share my screen?
There you go.
There we go. So this is,
Make sure you don't have anything wild on your screen.
yeah, I've gotten caught doing that shit before. So this is it, Tim. So when I zoom in, right? So here we go. It's $1.86, which is 12 selections for a penny plus $1.85 to cover shipping. 8 more albums at regular prices. 13 every 4 weeks, you'll get a catalog which describes the selections of the month, hundreds of alternatives. The tapes and records you ordered during your membership will be billed at regular club prices, $7.98 to $9.98. And then do you remember this? I think I did this as well. If you bought your first selection when you signed up, you got 2 more free.
Oh, wow.
I vaguely remember doing this, or you could have done compact discs. But yeah, look, each album had its own Madonna. You can dance 302, 6857, La Bamba, right? White Snake. That might have been
Oh,
that
look,
might have been
White
the album.
Lion.
Tesla. Mechanical Resonance, White Lion. Oh my God.
Striper.
Striper,
Surprised
In
you didn't get that one.
Excess. But then they have like Anthrax. And I remember seeing stuff like, so they did have heavy metal. They would have Slayer. They would have Metallic, Crocus, um, Mick Jagger, The Police, right? Music for the masses. Guns N' Roses. Like they did have a whole, like, it was a big catalog. I would ask anybody, go enter Columbia House catalog in Google and then look for the images and you'll see like what it looked like. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, listen to this one. The records that you would get for a penny counted as free goods, and that there was no royalty on free goods. It's still unclear today exactly how many of those royalties were paid through to recording
No
artists.
shit.
They were only paid on the purchase goods, and even so, it was at 3/4 of the regular rate, and that would have been paid how you bought it in a regular record store. So this basically is the first Spotify and Apple Music because these motherfuckers are making money off the artists and they
They're
weren't getting shit.
right. I never knew, Tim, that send me that article when you're done, but I didn't know they didn't pay royalties. I did find a picture of someone with a notebook that they had all the stamps from the album stuck on. Uh, this was kind of wild. Holy shit. Like I didn't realize they didn't pay royalties on
Most of the artists and
neither
writers
does Spotify.
most of their artists and writers didn't get paid anything on any of the free albums. However, the sale of the records did count in the calculation of gold and platinum and chart positions.
Wow.
Wow, dude. So no money, but you might wind up with a pretty big trophy. Now the clubs are long gone, and services like Spotify and Apple Music have taken their place with access to almost any song you can want for 10 a month. Holy shit, man. Dude,
Dude,
that's crazy.
I I can't believe they were generating $1.5 billion of revenue. 15% of the US record industry volume at its peak.
Wild shit. There's another thing I want to talk about too for people that are listening that are maybe younger. So, in the malls back then, because let's be honest here, when you're our age or in the 90s, when you're like 15, blah, 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 dude, when you got dropped off at the mall on the weekend, how fucking cool was that?
Oh, it was all you did was walk around. You went to the bookstore, you went to the comic book place, you went to the album, you went to the record place, and then you just walked around and hung out in the food court. Yeah, it was the thing.
Even if you didn't have money, you still went to the fucking mall and you
Mm-hmm.
window shopped. But there was a
Mm-hmm.
place at the mall for the young people listening called The Wall. The Wall had a thing called lifetime guarantee. And Jay, you should find this sticker and share your screen again for the people to see.
All right. I will find it. I will find it.
So while Jay's doing that, they would essentially you would buy a record, they would put a blue sticker on it. Jay's about to show you as soon as he finds it. And you could literally go back to the store if your CD got scratched or broken and get a fucking brand new one for free. And yes, for free. There was no questions asked. They would give you that record for free. But here's the kicker. All you had to do is take the jewel case off, put it onto another jewel case, put the insert in, bring it back, and even if you didn't buy the CD there you go.
That is insane. And it was on the case.
Yeah, they put it on the fucking case, dude. So all you had to do is just take it off and put it on another one. And if you didn't buy it there, you got a fucking another CD of anything. How do you make money off that?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then I remember before they went out of business, they would make you put it on the actual CD, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I've went to that place so many times when it was open and just cracked the case off into another one and just got another fucking CD. Like, come on, man. It's so easy. That the Wall turned into FYE, right?
Yes. FYE bought the Wall. Yeah.
And then FYE went out of business. Remember South Street had that huge FYE
Yeah, which was a Tower Records before that.
tower. Yeah. It was 2 fucking floors, dude.
Yeah. We could probably do a deep dive on Tower Records. You know, we should do a deep dive on the documentary and talk about Tower Records. My brother worked in one, the big one up in Paramus, New Jersey. Shout out to Paramus again. We're still in this episode. I used to go to that place, and you want to talk about just walking and browsing, like, and everything, every trope there is about, if you've ever seen the movie High Fidelity,
Yeah.
Empire Records, like every trope about the snotty employee who's like, don't buy that Slayer album, you're not cool enough to buy that Slayer album. They were all there,
Mhm.
but they had the best selection. The fact that the end caps are curated by people who were into shit, like, I can tell you right now, Snapcase, God Lives Underwater, um, Destroy Erase Improve by Meshuggah. All these albums I found being on the end cap at a tower, and I went, oh, snot. This looks
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I'll pick it up.
And the end caps sometimes used to have headphones and you could pick a CD to listen
Yep.
to.
Yep.
Dude, I don't, it's crazy, man, because I feel bad for kids nowadays that are growing up like 15, 14. Like, I know it's so easy to just go online, go on YouTube, listen to records, but the feeling of going to a store and just buying the disc or listening to it there and you going, holy shit, this is good, man. And
Yeah.
you spend your fucking allowance on a record, like, there is no better feeling than that back then.
There was a store near me, and it might actually still be open. I know they moved in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, called Music Connection. And he had it up front was all the used stuff, and then it was cassettes, then it was the CDs in the back, and they were the giant like plastic holder things. Um,
Oh, they were
but
like this big and you couldn't steal them?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like,
But
yeah,
he had
yeah.
every bootleg known to man. I have so many Nine Inch Nails bootlegs. I probably still have actual the physical discs of them.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but he used to sell the radio promos as used CDs. You know, the one that's are stamped and said this is, promo copy.
Promotional
Not
use only,
yeah.
yeah.
I had so many of those because why would I spend $12 on a brand new CD when I could spend $3 on the promo CD, which had the little cut taken out of the jewel case, so you
Yep.
knew it was for me as a young guy with a young kid without any money, it was the greatest thing in the fucking world. The greatest
Oh,
thing in the
yeah, yeah.
world.
Remember you go to like the wall and they would have the like Japan edition.
Yep, with the tag strip across the top. Yep, yep.
And then or like you'd buy a CD single and it'd be a song that was on the record and it'd be like 74.99 for one fucking slim disc.
Dude, I remember that. I remember that. Wait, hold on. I gotta go off screen, but I gotta come back on screen for a second. Hold on, vamp for a second.
Yeah, so basically you would go into the store and it'd be like a CD single of like Marilyn Manson or some shit like that. And it would literally be one song and like two remixes maybe. But the song wasn't on the actual, we'll say like Antichrist Superstar or something. Because I definitely remember Antichrist Superstar had a bunch of CD singles and it would literally be the thinnest jewel case ever. And it'd be one song and a remix. And it'd be like, oh, Sweden import. And it'd literally be
Like
69.99.
this, one of these little tiny little
Yeah.
ones, right? But it
And
was even
people would
thinner than
buy it.
this.
Yeah.
Yes, because they were imports, and Tower Records had that whole import section where you could go and I bought a lot of European singles because they would
Yeah.
have like random tracks. But you're right, they were 35. You want to talk about? Here we go, Tim. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is the Roots of Sepultura. This was the double disc set they released in the UK. The first CD is Roots itself. The second CD is all covers, remixes, live shit. It I drove in the middle of a snowstorm to HMV Records in Times Square, New York.
God damn.
I think I paid $80 for this. Um, I still have it. It's and like the cover of the album is different, so that's the
Oh,
first
yeah.
disc. And this was one of those weird CD cases. So here is the second disc.
Okay.
But yeah, I literally forced my friends, me and three other guys drove into New York City in the middle of a fucking snowstorm over Christmas break because I had to get this set because Roots was we you know what? We've never did a deep dive on Roots, have we?
No.
That's fucking we got to fix that. We're going to fix that this month. But I forced them to take me into the city to get this. Look, it's got the whole special limited edition CD, made in England,
There you go. Oh,
right?
yeah. Now
Like
you can see it. Yeah.
it was a thing. You were right. It was a thing. And I remember buying I bought a Machine Head. I think it was Take My Scars, the European single, for like $30 because it had a cover of Negative Creep on it.
Let me see. You should go on eBay and see if you can find any of these imports for people to see on here.
Somebody can find Machine Head
I remember I
single.
bought the Sin import from Nine Inch Nails at the wall. I think I might have it upstairs with the sticker on it still. And it was
Uh,
literally like $40 for like
Here we go.
Sin.
Here you go. I got one. I got one for you. Here you go. I definitely bought this. I owned it. Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
look at the
Machine Head,
look.
Take My Scars. And then I don't know what the fuck this was. But this was a single. It had the Obi strip over here. Um, import. Let's see what else comes back. Deep Purple. What else? Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. Here we go. I want to really upset myself.
That's fucking
Yeah, look, it's all Roots. It's not the Roots. It's hard to find.
prices aren't too bad. There you go,
No.
right there.
Where?
Left.
There it is.
Yeah.
1988.
Is that
Jesus,
still
dude.
fucking wrapped?
Yeah.
Wow.
And look, that's is that a promo copy? Because it's got the cut right there.
Holy shit.
Dude, that's wild.
That's cheap too.
Yeah.
See if you can find the Manson imports from Antichrist. Because
Um,
they were like $74, man.
what songs were singles?
I think it had to be Beautiful People, yeah. Yep, there it is.
This?
Yep. Yeah, I remember buying that.
That is kind of wild.
Crazy, dude.
You know, whenever I go to eBay and I'm searching for music stuff, this is what I always end up looking for.
Oh, there you go.
I hang this up. I'll hang this up behind me next time we do a show. Live, laugh, Limp Bizkit.
That's fucking
But
hilarious.
I mean, Tim, man, want to talk about a trip? But yeah, they. I remember buying those import singles, and again, like you said, it was there were B sides that you couldn't find anywhere else, and it. I mean, you had to be willing to pay for it, but you also had to worry that what if I get a dud? What if I buy this and it's crap?
Absolutely. I got to
I
look through my
remember,
stuff.
I remember buying the Ministry, the Fall and Reload. I think was the first single off of Filth Pig. And it was one of those, remember it had a plastic tray with a cardboard wrapper that you would wrap the cardboard thing around and then just clip the tray closed. I remember I spent a shit ton of money on that because it was imported. And then I listened to it and I went, what?
What the fuck?
Ministry, the fall single.
This has definitely turned into an episode where you have to watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, please. I mean, you can listen along, but watching it on YouTube definitely gives you a. Yep, I remember buying this and going, "What is?" Which, by the way, did we do a deep dive into Filth Pig?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so that's going on the list too. We got Roots and we got Filth Pig.
Hell yeah. I'm
That's
down.
wild. But back to Columbia House, Tim. I have no idea that how they made money. I can't believe that was $1 billion industry at some point. Did I tell the story about the CD guy on campus? Did I ever tell that story?
No.
There was a guy every Tuesday because Tuesday was new release day, which is another thing that God bless you
Oh
millennials, you
yeah.
don't ever have to deal with. Um, every Tuesday was new releases. Now it's on a Friday, which is really kind of cool because you can listen over the weekend. But there was a guy who used to show up on campus and he would buy them from a distributor because I think there's a big pressing plant over it's right off of 55 on in what is that? What's the town next to Glassboro? Begins with a P. You go there all the time.
Pittman.
Pittman. There's a big Sony pressing plant in Pittman. He used to come in with boxes like 40 of the same CD, and they were always $10. So I used to go and mac out 10, $20, $30, whatever. And I would buy CDs. I remember sending my girlfriend to buy shit after I graduated because he was cheaper because it was all the new releases for the week. And then like the new releases from the last 2 weeks prior. And he would just set up as a table in the student center and He must have made money at a clip, man, because there were always people there, and there were
Oh fuck
always
yeah.
people buying shit. I went to college with like 20 CDs, and then by the time I finished my freshman year, I had like over 140.
God damn.
So I was just buying shit all over the place. So,
And people don't realize how much room that takes up, man.
oh my God, I have pictures of racks when my wife and I first got together, those giant racks of just CDs.
Oh yeah, dude. I have a CD book of burnt CDs, and it's literally like this thick.
Yeah,
There's probably
it's
like 800 CDs in the fucking thing.
I have all of Kim's CDs over there in two big books. Yeah, all the ones that she had. I cut mine down. I've got two boxes back there. Someday you and I'll take a drive out to like Preserving Hardcore in Pittsburgh and we'll drop them off. We'll do like a road trip episode where we record while we're going. Um,
Oh hell yeah,
I
that'd
got
be
rid of a whole
fun.
bunch of stuff with tunes, but I've still got a decent amount of shit that I've got a whole rack. I was gonna send it to Orion. I never got around to it of new metal stuff. But yeah, this was so back to the topic at hand. BMG and Columbia House, and then the wall and their lifetime guarantee stickers. It makes you wonder. First of all, have these companies made any money? But second of all, it also shows you how grossly inflated the cost of CDs are because they were
Oh
printing them
my
for
god, yeah.
pennies and they were selling them for. I stopped buying when they hit $20 a CD. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I as well did the same thing. And then
And,
Best Buy came and
Yeah, I mean, I remember I used to set money aside that every Tuesday when I worked in Mount Laurel, I would go over to the Best Buy and I would just buy whatever I needed. And you know, for us, more extreme music, it's different. And I'll say it's different in the sense of, if you like Slayer, you're gonna buy a Slayer album, you're probably gonna like it. It's not you're not taking a flyer. But I think what really killed the CD industry was pop music, where you'd have an artist that has one big song, it's track number three, and it's an album of 10 tracks where they have three bangers and seven filler. And as a casual music fan, paying $20 for that song just for that single never made sense. And CD singles, Tim, I think you would agree, never really took off.
no,
They never
never.
really took off. Cassette singles were a big thing for a while. Cause singles, because it was like $2 for one. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean it just shows you how good these kids have it these days, man.
now they pay $10 for
I mean,
all the music you could possibly want.
right here,
Yep.
there's probably like a billion songs in this thing.
Yep, dude, I've got an old school. We got to get on my old school iPod and pull out some of my playlists on that thing. I had some scary shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
so this is a bit of a trip down memory lane for Tim and I. But for you, the listeners that are in Tim and I's age bracket, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. No heckling or harassment, please, for my terrible, terrible music choices at age
Oh no,
11.
please do.
Um,
Leave a voicemail how terrible his music taste is.
um, but I mean, it was a big part of as being a music fan back then. It was a big part of it, right? Especially and when you read if you go to the Wikipedia article, they talked about the rise of that mail order catalog was in the 50s and 60s, and they were really trying to service rural customers. So can you imagine where that's your only connection to the music world as a whole? If you don't have a record shop in town, is through Columbia House.
Well,
It's
they I'll tell you
kind
what,
of bananas.
whoever owned that is sitting pretty right now, probably.
100%. And it's been through, my God, when I went through that article and they talked about all the lawsuits and it's been sold like 10 times. And yeah, it's just not good, man. Just not good. Kind
Well,
of amusing.
on that note, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. So 267-497, 267-297-4627. If you want to leave a voicemail, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com for your likes, complaints, questions, comments, concerns. Newbreed_podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. We have a Facebook group. You'll find us on r/new metal. You'll find us bounce around the internet. Find us on YouTube, where you're probably watching this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this convo. And until next week, cheers.
Later.